Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. It's finally time for our Cue the Blue sketch with me. And this sketch is from April 2019. They actually had a virtual crop back before COVID. Can you believe it? And this is actually sketch number 12 from that virtual crop. I will have it linked below this video in the description box if you would like to grab the sketch and check it out. I'm really excited to show you my interpretation of this sketch using our Cue the Blue collection. And we'll be doing both this layout, and I also have a card that I'll be showing you as well with Cue the Blue. And I hope you enjoy them. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And here we go. Here's the sketch I picked out. What it looks like. I've gone ahead and put all my measurements on here, just like I do for the virtual crop. If you join any of my live streams for that, I will hold it closer to the camera so you can get a screenshot of that if you'd like. But I just thought this really spoke to me with the Cue the Blue collection. And it also gives me an opportunity to use the vellum that is a part of this collection as well. So let's get started. I'm starting with a sheet of navy cardstock. I just thought it really, complements the collection well. And then I picked the one that kind of has almost like a washed denim kind of look. It definitely has a tile effect as well. The back side also kind of has a darker geometric effect on it. But we're going to use this side. Let me get that closer. It has little flowers, almost like a tiled effect. So let me grab my regular tape runner, and I cut this piece to 11.5 by 11.5 inches. So that way, essentially, we're making a frame. Now, could you take out the center of your cardstock? Absolutely. If you need to save your cardstock, you can definitely cut a piece out of the center and then not have to have so much weight in your album, or however you want to do it. This just, I don't know, to me, it gives it a little bit of extra stability. So I am essentially framing this 11.5 by 11.5 piece of cardstock. Next, we have these pieces running across through the middle. And so for that, I've picked this lighter pattern that really complements the other one well. And it has the brushstroke watercolor almost on the back. And you can see just how pretty that looks running through there. And then I picked kind of a really darker vellum. So this is the piece of vellum. I have cut this white lighter piece to 4 inches, and then I cut our vellum to 3.5 inches, and we're just going to run this. Hang on, let me double check. I have a 4x6 mat because you all know, if you've seen any of my other videos, how much I really like using mats and giving you ideas with them. So we are going to go right around here, which is, I'm also really bad about eyeballing things, right on the 2s. So, so about 4 inches from the top and the bottom. And we've got the 4-inch piece here going through the center. All right, I'm actually going to use my ruler. That's kind of unusual for me also. Y'all know usually I eyeball these things. Well, I didn't do such a bad job of eyeballing it, I guess, if I want to write directly on the 2s. And then with the vellum, you do need to use your vellum tape runner. And wow, that almost looks a little bit darker on that end, doesn't it? When you flip it over, I'm still going to flip it. And then it kind of has more of a straight effect with the vellum tape runner here. It's our traditional tape runner has little lines that come off of it, I guess, if you will, with the pieces of tape. The repositionable has little dots, and the vellum kind of has more just of a straight, complete piece. And what we're going to do is I actually learned that there actually is a term for this. But let me get this centered first because why not? There we go. So we're showing about a quarter of an inch above and below. And what you want to do, it's called burnishing. You're going to grab your bone folder and you're going to use that just to burnish where your tape is. So that way it'll disappear on your page. Let me actually turn up my light just a little bit so I can see if I can see any of it through. I feel like I got that pretty well. I'm just going to go over it one more time really well, and then I will hold it up for you all so you can see that you really can't see where the tape is underneath the vellum. So here you go. And you can see the pattern of the lighter piece of paper coming through the vellum along with the pattern that's actually on the vellum. And we just burnished it with our bone folder. I used the flat end and it really, really just kind of got it. So where all of our vellum tape runner disappeared. Now I did recently participate in our promotion where they had different colored tape runner holders. So that way I didn't have to write on my tape runner holders to know which is which now. But I have been known in the past to write on them so I know which one is my repositionable, even though the cartridge is green. The regular tape runner, the cartridge is white, but I went ahead and put it in the white and the green holder, and then I put my vellum in this red holder, and that's blue. So just so that way make it easier to tell them apart. Okay, now what else do we need? We need our mats. So I did pull out two 4.5 by 6.5 mats. I pulled out the one 4x6 that you saw a little bit ago. And then I also took one of our 4.5 by 6.5 mats and cut it in half at 4.5 by 3.25 to create a journal box. And it just makes life so much easier to do it that way, I guess, so much. So all of our mats complement our collection so nicely. I just pulled out several, and I'm going to use these pretty much as ready to go mats for my photos. And this one might wind up being a title and it might not. I may actually wind up putting a photo here as well. And this is going to go down here, and I will stick those down in just a moment. But I want to make sure my spacing is well for my embellishments I picked out as well from our embellishment pack. I kind of want this one more in the center here of the layout, and then I want two coming down into this bottom end here. So I think I'm going to start sticking down from the bottom. I am going to move things up just a little. Grab my regular tape runner, and let's get these stuck down. So this one is a pretty short and quick layout. I just really, sometimes the simpler ones can still look so beautiful, and I just wanted to show you all that. But you can see how I'm just framing around my mat here just a little bit. It's between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to just go ahead and use the regular tape runner on the embellishments as well. Now, a lot of times I do use the foam squares, but not this time. I just really think we have enough other things going on this page that we don't need the foam squares. We really kind of want to keep it where it is. Okay. And I don't know if I can hold that close enough for you all to see the series of lines on there. It's kind of hard. There, you can see it there, where it's kind of a little series of those little rectangles compared to what we got with the vellum tape runner. I may have to do one with the repositionable just to show you all the difference on that one as well. I'll do one. Maybe I can do it on here because I think there's a little color to the repositionable. Well, maybe not, but I might be able to get it in the light. Oops. Okay, hopefully that's coming up. There you go. There's the dots. So you can see the repositionable definitely has a series of dots as well. There you go. So let me just go over that with my regular tape runner because I do want it to be really extra secure coming up. And I'm giving this about a 1/2 inch here of space around it. It's going to have a little more on this right side, but I'm okay with that. I just like having some of it centered. I guess if you're a little more particular, then you can make that adjustment as well. Let me bring this down a little bit more. And here we go. And last mat. I don't know. I just really also like the sentiment on this mat as well. Let's start today with a thankful heart. Sometimes we forget to do that. And here we go. This is our layout using our Cue the Blue with the vellum and our mats. Came together very nicely for a quick layout here. And here again is our sketch one more time. So I hope you enjoyed my interpretation of that sketch using our Cue the Blue collection. Give it a try. It's really a quick and easy one and will let you work pretty much with any collection you have. I have one of our blank cards from our card kits, and we're going to be opening it to the side this time. I'm working on my parchment mat just to help my camera focusing for whatever reason. So I'm using up actually some of our scraps from our layout to do this. This is the paper that had the brush strokes on the back of it. And I cut a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece to use on the base of our card. And here we go. And I was definitely inspired by the sketch for this one. So do you remember how we cut off 1/2 inch from our paper? That was our base on our other layout. That's what we're going to be using on our card, is some of our strips from that as well. So let me get the repositionable tape, because sometimes you wind up going off just a little bit and it's easier to have the repositionable tape. So I have 2 of our strips, and I just cut them down to the 4 1/4 to run across the top and the bottom of our card. And this is just going to be a simple blank card, multi-purpose card to send to somebody for any occasion. I also took off a strip of our vellum, and this is 2 3/8 by our 4 1/4 to run across the center of our card as well. So let me grab out my vellum tape runner again here. Oops. And it definitely is a little bit, I don't want to say trickier to use, but for me, I guess because I'm so used to our other tape runners that pull away so cleanly. All right, let's get this centered. And yes, you can pull back out your ruler again if you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and put this in the middle here. Let me get out my bone folder again and burnish our vellum. You don't really have to press too hard to get it, and you can actually see some of the pattern appearing a little bit more under our vellum as well, with the light and the dark. I just think it's such a pretty contrast. Here we go. So there you can see more of the design coming through, and you really don't see the tape runner. And then I also went ahead and pulled out a couple of our embellishments as well. So we're going to put this one through the center of our vellum piece here. And then I've got this little cross we're going to stick on top of it. I feel like I have all the tape runners here, which I guess I do, because we are kind of using them all. Let's center this as best you can. Like I said, if you really want to pull out that 0 centering ruler, you can. That looks pretty good to me. And then make sure you get the side up that you want on this. I did pick the darker cross here to go through the center of our card, and just make it a simple all occasion card here. There you go. That's it. Pretty quick and easy, using up some of our scraps from our page layout, and you just have a gorgeous card you can send to anybody. It could even be as a thank you for a wedding or any really occasion. This is basically just one of those all occasion type cards. That's it. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me once again. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I am working on getting my subscribers to grow and my watch hours to a little bit more as well. I hope you enjoyed seeing this interpretation of the sketch as well as the card with it in my Sketch with Me series. Until next time.